guys, welcome back to my channel. Shanifer here. If you're new, welcome to the channel. In today's episode, which is episode number 8, voice is a little scratchy, we're going to be talking about policies and knowing your worth, because I find that in the beginning, especially when you're braiding or doing hair or whatever you're doing, when you're starting out with something in the beginning, you usually feel like you don't have experience, you don't have the clientele, so you kind of just go with the flow, but you actually really need to set in stone your policies from the jump. So today I'm going to give you guys some examples of some policies and just talking to you guys about knowing your worth, and don't let people take advantage of you, because that will happen. So let's get into this video. So I have my notebook here, which I wrote down some notes so I can keep organized. So first thing I'll talk about is obviously the policies, and policies are super important because 1, it creates professionalism for your business. 2, it creates boundaries and keeps you organized. And 3, it sets the tone for your business in general. So people already know what to expect when they book with you. So when you're making your policies, guys, you do want to make sure that it is visible. Like if you're using Instagram, like, you know, the little highlights in your bio, you can either put your policies there, or your booking site. As soon as people log on, the first thing they'll see is all your policies. Your website, wherever it is, make sure that they are visible so people can't try and come back and say anything to you, because you definitely had it there set in stone and it was visible. So there's no excuse. So some examples of some policies which I create for my own business as well. Some I don't, some I do, but like in general, I find this is very common policies. First of all, late fees. So I personally don't charge a late fee. I just cancel you, and if you want to rebook with me, you have to pay a fee, because yeah, people are late. Like, you have to give people like a grace period. I give people about 15 minutes grace period. So it depends on you, however long you're willing to wait and how much clients that you have per day. That's totally up to you. But you can create a late fee. So if you're like 10 minutes late, that's $10, whatever you want to do, but that's up to you guys. And also a cancellation period. So how long are you going to wait until that person's appointment is canceled? So if your appointment's at 2, are you willing to wait till 3 o'clock and then you're going to cancel? So that's up to you as well. What also policies you guys should set, which I highly recommend, I don't care if you're just starting, you have no clientele, still set it, is deposits. Deposits are super important because 1, they secure their appointment, the spot for the client, and it also reassures you that the client will show up to their appointment. And it's not 100% guaranteed that that person will show up to their appointment, but it is something that's there which will motivate them more to come, because they don't want to, obviously nobody wants to lose their money. And then with the deposit too, you want to make it a good enough fee. So if you're providing hair or certain products, maybe make the deposit the amount big enough that you can cover those expenses. But do remember, if you have to refund somebody their money, if you have to cancel on them, please ensure that you have their money to refund. So don't like rely on it so much, but that is that extra cushion that you need for when people book with you. Depending on where you are working, whether you're working from home, usually when you're just starting out, you are working from home. I work from home still and I love it, but I always say no extra guests, so you could also include that in your policy if you don't want extra guests, depending on the space. And obviously now it is COVID, so you do have to limit yourself and who you're around. So just let people know, like, no extra guests. I don't even care if it's your kids, find daycare. We're not doing that. But that's another one. And also the requirements of your hair, like, can you braid 0.5 inches of hair? Can you braid 2 inches of hair? Do they have to come washed? Do you wash the hair? Does it need to be blow dried? All that stuff needs to be set into your policies. For me, I always tell people come washed and blow dried, and if you're not blow dried or whatever adequately, I will charge you additional fee. But if you do need to be washed or blow dried, I also have that service where you can add it on. So there's no excuse. You can either add on the service of getting a wash, or you can come properly washed and blow dried. It's up to the client, right? Another one. Last minute changes. I actually recently just added this on mine, because sometimes it does get a little bit annoying or frustrating when you book something and then you come to your appointment and you want something totally different. Because first of all, time is in effect. You do have other clients, and then prep. Whatever you prep for, it could be different for what they want now. So I say no last minute changes. If you have to make changes, make it at least like 48 hours, 24 hours before your appointment. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of other policies that you guys can add in, but I just like to keep it to the standard. Some people charge extra for longer hair or whatever it is, but let that be known in your policy and make sure it's visible. Now I want to talk about knowing your worth. This is like my favorite part, because even for me still to this day, like sometimes like you got to separate your mind and your feelings from the business aspects, because everybody is in business to make money. Like regardless if you love doing it or whatever, even if I love doing hair, but I'm still in it to make money as well. It's something I love, but I make money off of it as well. So you have to know your worth. And I noticed that a lot of times when people are just starting out, they feel like they have to give a whole bunch of discounts. They have to do stuff for free. They have to basically do slavery for little money just because they don't have no clientele and they're trying to build that clientele. And that is not the case. And this is why I say start off strong, regardless if you have clientele or not. Start off strong, so that way when you get up there, the standard has already been set. You don't have to go back and tweak little stuff. Like obviously as you go your business, you will be tweaking as you go, because stuff will change and you will realize stuff. You'll grow and you'll realize like, okay, maybe I should be blow drying the hair instead of them, or maybe I should just offer washes for all my stuff because people aren't washing their hair properly. Stuff like that you will figure out as you go. But knowing your worth, because people will love to take advantage of you, and that's not cool. Like I hate that. Like I had happen to me too. So like with your prices, be very firm with your prices. My personal thing is, if you're good, if you can do the best knotless braids, you can do the best feed-in braids, but you don't have the clientele, but you are good and your work is neat, charge whatever the hell you want to charge, because your work is good. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out. People will come to you based on how you work. The evidence is in your work. So if you're producing neat, clean parts, stitches, all symmetrical braids, people will come to you and they will pay the price. Because for me, I pay for quality. I realize that over time, it's not quantity, it's quality. Because if you can produce that work, people will come to you and they will pay. So even if you're just starting out, don't be charging like $50 for small knotless braids. Because now when you're setting it, okay, $50 for small knotless braids. So now when you're up there, your clientele's up there, you're booked and you're busy, and now you want to take that $50 and slap it up to $300. People aren't going to slide with that, and you're going to lose clientele like that, because they're going to be like, okay, how does she go from 50 to 300? But if you're good, you're good. Start off high, because you could always go lower. If you start off low, it's going to be a challenge when you go higher and higher. So if you want to be fair with your prices, to know your worth and know what you are willing to work for. And with prices too, you can base it off how much do you want to make an hour. Do you want to make $10 an hour, $5 an hour, $50 an hour? Charge your worth. And it just goes like that, because people will love to come and try to bargain, especially when you're new. I personally had experience with people come like, oh, how much is for this? I'll say 80, like, oh, can you do 50? Can you do this? Do not budge. I learned that. Do not budge, because there's always going to be someone that is willing to pay your price without asking for a discount. Because when these people go to these Gucci stores, Louis Vuitton, Nike, wherever they go, they do not go up there and say, hey, do you think I can get these shoes for 25 instead of 50? They do not do that. So do not do that for yourself. And even if you lose a client or two because you don't want to budge, who cares? That's their loss, and you will gain plenty more. Trust me. There are people that are in your budget, that you're in their budget, and there's people that you're not going to be in their budget, and that's okay, because everyone is not for everyone. I feel like I was talking so much. And as for discounts, even with family members, you can do that if you want. I personally, like, sometimes the only people's hair I do for free is my sisters and my mom's, and sometimes they'll even pay me. But I just say, like, for friends you can give discounts, cool, but do not try to don't set that tone where it's always a discount thing, because sometimes it is a lot of work for you to put in, and then you kind of take an L because you're giving a discount, you know? So try to lean away from giving discounts and getting in that mindset, because people who respect your business will pay for your stuff, whether they know you or they don't. And there's something I want to say that literally just slipped my mind. Anyway, I can't think of it, but when you're starting out, another thing is, don't just do any and everything. So if someone wants small braids down to the floor with curls and this and that, don't just do it because you want the money. Do it because you know you can do it first, and do it if you're gonna charge what you have to charge for it. So don't be braiding to the floor and you're charging $100, because that's not gonna slide. Just know your worth from the jump, and I cannot stress that enough, because once you know your work and you're confident in yourself, people will come to you because they know you're confident and they know you're firm and they know that your stuff is organized. That sets back to your policies. You have your policies. You have within your policies, you have your late fees, what you require, this, that, whatever it is, and then you're confident in what you do, and then your work speaks for itself. So that's what's going to draw you in these customers or clientele. And also when you're starting out too, you will have to obviously promote yourself, maybe do little promotions just to gain some clientele, but do not lowball yourself. Because when you say yes to others, you're saying no to yourself. So if they want a discount for $50 and your service is $100, don't do it, because then you're taking it out and it's like, it's not fair on your part. What else? This is a really short video. It's kind of like a little motivational video for those especially who are starting out, to just know your worth and really stick to your guns from the jump, and really try to set boundaries as well with your clients or family members and friends, because it's so important. And me, as how long I've been doing my business, I've been doing mine for like 3+ years and it's going great. So I recently, maybe like a few months ago, I realized that people were overstepping their boundaries, because some of these clients, they kind of know me, so they were overstepping their boundaries, I felt like, because they know me. So I had to come out and say something, and it may have came out like a little bit harsh, but like I think I was just over it. And so that's why I'm telling you guys, it's so important to set your boundaries and let people know, like, people cannot walk all over you. And just because you're an at-home business or you're working by yourself, it's braiding, it's still a business. This is a serious business, guys. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't let nobody tell you that braiding or doing hair ain't real, because this is a serious job and it does take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And people who do not braid will never understand, or do hair will never understand what it takes to go into it, because it's taxing on your body, and also it's very time consuming. So definitely charge your worth and know your worth and set those boundaries so people know not to mess with you. I feel like I'm coming off like a little bully, but like not to mess with you, but like, people will try you. That's all I'm saying, is people will want to try you, and they're gonna try you and see how far they can push you or what they can get out of you. And if you don't set boundaries, then you're gonna get walked all over. So you don't want that to happen to you. So this was my little rant, and to give you guys a little confidence in, especially when you're just starting out, and like do's and don'ts. Make sure you get those policies in, set your boundaries, charge your worth, and don't do the discounting, because people are going to get used to that, and then when you charge them full price, it's going to be an issue. So this was just my little video on that. I hope you guys found it helpful. I'm actually going to be making another video, guys, on booking sites. I don't know if I can actually show you guys how to make a booking site, but I guess I'll just give you information about a booking site, what booking sites to use. But other than that, that was pretty much for this video, guys. Just know your worth, set your boundaries, have your policies. No matter if you're just starting out or not, know your worth. It's very, very important, especially in this industry, because you will get walked over. So that is it, guys. So I'll see you guys again in episode 9 very shortly. I'm trying to film these videos back to back, so I have content to put out and I'm not disappearing for months. But yeah, so hope you guys have, I'm gonna say hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, but I'm probably gonna post another video before Christmas. So I'll see you guys again in episode number 9.